This week on the podcast, we've got cultural appropriation and cannibalism, and that's before we even get into the movie about those same two topics.
Welcome to the Magnificently Huge Podcast with your hosts, Eric Reed, Brian Kruger, and Chris Ryerson. Three idiots who decided to slap an adverb together with an adjective to bring you one magnificently huge discussion each week about the movies and pop culture we kinda like, maybe even secretly love, before we ultimately crab all over them. We're not here to save the world, we're just here to make it weirder, one podcast at a time. This is Magnificently Huge.
Welcome, everyone, once again to the Magnificently Huge Podcast. My name is Brian, and this week, my friends Chris and Eric joined me to revisit the Gore Verbinski, Johnny Depp, Armie Hammer version of The Lone Ranger. This was a follow-on to the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy at that point in time, I guess it was. I don't remember. It's all a blur. You don't remember either. It's all a blur. And yeah, we did Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die a couple weeks back, and that got us on talking about Verbinski in general. And when we were like picking a show, like why not do The Lone Ranger? Let's revisit this train wreck, literally. So, check the show notes. There's timestamps for when we talk about whatever it is we talk about. And as always, share the podcast on your social media feeds, subscribe to it. Check us out on social media. We're usually MagHuge, MAGHUGE, or Magnificently Huge Podcast on any socials you might find. You can figure that out by going to our website, maghuge.com, or you can email us if you like, magnificentlyhuge@gmail.com. Okay, hi-ho, podcast, and away.
We're doing the thing.
We're doing it. Hey, everybody.
Back to us.
It's the Magnificently Huge Podcast. My name is Brian.
My name is Eric. I'm Chris.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
so I give you guys a little experience of mine that I had this weekend. For reasons I'd rather not get into, I ended up actually going to Buc-ees because there is a Buc-ees.
Nice.
Now.
That is a
Buc-ees is awesome.
Buc-ees is a Texas.
What
Yeah.
the fuck? I don't
Crazy.
get it. I don't get it.
I love that you're experiencing this just like all of the people here for the
Barbecued
World
meats and road trip snacks in a building so large you can't see the other side of it because of the curvature
It's a
of the
7-Eleven the size of a Walmart.
Cup. It's 7-Eleven
Why?
on steroids, basically. And I love all of the World Cup footage from all of the people from Europe here who are seeing these. Like I saw one, it was a Dutch couple, and the wife literally had to leave because she was so overwhelmed by the entire thing. She just had to go outside.
Yeah, no, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like my wife's ADD was just like completely overwhelmed, and she's just in this Buc-ees going.
There. But they have the cleanest bathrooms of any road stop ever.
Christ.
Period.
There
Which is
were
why you
so
go.
many people.
There's
so
one in
many
Arizona
cars.
now?
Yeah, they opened one in like Goodyear.
Yeah. They've been slowly expanding outside of Texas.
Yeah. So like what really floored me about Buc-ees wasn't the sheer white trashness of it. It wasn't the sheer scale of it, the 75 gas pumps or whatever. It wasn't the fact that it was so full of people, which it was. Like getting in and out of there was a pain in the ass. Like, why? But it's the fact that what Buc-ees actually is, everything they sell is their own brand. It's merch. Like everything is Buc-ees stuff. So what that means is that they've got a whole supply chain. They're making everything.
Yeah.
From t-shirts to potato chips to,
they're like Costco.
Buc-ees on them.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Or Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, like McDonald's doesn't do this level of merchandising. This is insanity.
And and it's weird in Texas too, because if you go to older ones, they're just like the normal like Quickie Mart size, and you go in and it's very off-putting because it's like you're expecting it to be large and crazy. But then when you go to the newer ones and they're just these massive, like 10 block data center size things, it's just crazy. So yeah.
Why?
But you can buy snacks, you can buy drinks, you can buy food.
You can buy snacks and drinks and food at a gas station.
Yeah, but
Why?
can you
Not
also
like this.
Their
barbecue is fucking amazing. I will fight you. Their barbecue is great.
You know what? We bought like several barbecue sandwiches and got all the different meats. It's fine. It's barbecue. The potato chips are great. I'll give you the potato chips.
Well, because they're homemade. That's why.
Yeah. But
freshly fried. Yeah. And then you got to get some Buc-ee nuggets while you're there.
Those I don't like. Those are kind of yucky.
Yeah. I always when we would go when we would do like Texas road trips outside of Austin, we would stop and I would always get like the red licorice. That was my thing. But it's just you go to that like wall of snacks basically, and it's so overwhelming because it's like I came in here for one thing and I'm gonna walk out for like $300 because I just
No, you're not. No, don't do that. Oh God, I'm sorry.
Well,
I hated it.
Which you want to know what the funniest thing right now, Brian, is that my water that I have set here for the show, it's in a Buc-ee's tumbler. So I'm looking at the Buc-ee's logo while you're talking about Buc-ee's.
They are silently taking over the country.
Yeah, God bless them.
It's the most just fucking hick backwood white trash American horse shit ever. I hate it.
Okay.
I hate it.
That's fair. That's fair. But get yourself a t-shirt while you're there.
Nope. I'm never going back. Fuck
nope.
that.
Nope.
Nope.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, I did that, and I apparently am the only person that doesn't like it. So good, have fun, everybody.
They have so much; it's like hard to hate everything there. I get hating the experience though because I have whatever that fear is of large crowds of people around me.
Yeah, exactly.
So that really it gets set off in there. But
anytime we would go, it literally would be like, where the fuck are all these people coming from?
That's the question. That's the why. Huh?
And this is the thing. It's like, if you're in Texas, like literally wherever you drive, you're bound to run into one somewhere, and they're always just massive and they're always full. It's like without fail. And it's like every
no parking spaces. Cars are just streaming in. There's 2 left turn lanes to get into the parking lot. What?
So
why?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's, but
I think part of that has to do with, the MAGA culture there is certainly not MAGA specifically, but
America,
somewhat right wing. Yeah. Shit kicker America culture. Yeah.
Are there kids that are like, I want to wear my Buc-ees shirt to school? Like I'm not going to get made fun of for that.
Oh, you're not going to get made fun of wearing a Buc-ees
shirt. God, why not? God, please bully the Buc-ees kids. Fuck this shit.
Because to Eric's point, it's the Disney of quick stops.
Yeah.
Jesus
so
Christ.
It's just it's the branding has basically become the thing. It's not really anything else. So enjoy it or don't, but it's here. Get used to it.
Yeah. With really great barbecue.
But if you can pick me up a t-shirt from Goodyear.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. You can go get your own.
I'm not going to Arizona. Are you crazy?
Apparently they're everywhere.
Next time we make a trip to the South, which is a lot closer to us, in Pittsburgh, we'll stop at one. I'll get you a t-shirt. Sure. I mean, because I am definitely going in the next one I can, because those sandwiches are numptious.
They're not bad. But
all right.
Anyway.
And just for you, Eric, I'm Googling closest Buc-ees to Pittsburgh.
Oh, fuck yeah. I didn't even think to do that. Yeah.
Looks like it's Huber Heights, Ohio, near Dayton, which is about 215 miles away from you.
Sounds like exactly the sort of place you'd find a Buc-ees. Anyway.
For DevoCon, we might be there.
And then there's an alternate option in Virginia, which is 220 miles away. So
we have
you got
a cousin, like my wife's niece is in South Carolina. So we'll probably be around there then.
Yeah. Whereas for me here in Chicago, the closest Buc-ees is in Kentucky.
It might be that one in Ohio.
So there you go. Anyway.
Oh
Buc-ees.
God. Okay. So yeah, that's the banter. Now we'll get on to the show.
Can we get on to the fresh shit?
Yes, the fresh shit.
This shit is fresh.
Oh shit, that is fresh.
This stuff is really fresh.
So weird. I used to be so angry and contrarian, and now I'm liking Buc-ees. I'm liking Megalopolis. It's just I don't know who I am anymore.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go odds on that you hate this Lone Ranger movie. I'm just putting that out there.
But we're not even in the Lone Ranger segment.
Wink,
We'll
wink.
get there.
We'll get there.
Okay.
First, we got to take a fresh shit.
Yes.
Hi-oh.
Fresh
Silver.
shit time. All right, I'll go first. I've got a
Good.
couple of TV shows that we were streaming.
Okay.
So, started in on Spider Noir.
How is it?
Um,
I have it on the list, but I haven't watched yet. And
It's-
are you watching it in black and white? or-
of course, I'm watching it in black
Okay.
and white. I'm
Good man.
kind of
Good.
annoyed that the color version exists.
That's for the dummies. That's
I
for the
guess. I mean, it definitely still looks like it was shot on video. Like
dummies. Yeah.
Spider Noir is a lot more noir than Spider.
It's just not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's basically an old film noir. It's just that some of the characters are Spider-Man universe characters.
And is Cage at his cagiest?
Cage is pretty cagey. I think the thing that's most frustrating about it is he's like at least 10 years too old to be doing this.
Right.
He just comes off as old, and it's disappointing because of that. I mean, for your down on his luck, washed up Private Dick character, it's not out of character.
I
There's
think,
a-
I liked his voice in the cartoon
Spider-Verse.
version.
Yeah.
And so I get why they would then make a show because there was so much buzz after that.
Mhm.
You don't necessarily need to cast him again.
I
mean,
kind of agree
yeah.
with that.
I like the fact that they probably cast him because you know that Nicolas Cage would play Spider Noir like he was an actual fucking spider. That's just how it's going to work.
Yes.
So
true.
I can see why you would cast him.
it's
But I keep thinking Colin Farrell would have been a better choice
I don't know, man. I don't know.
because he can do noir. He can make noir work.
But I think
Yeah.
with Spider Noir, you need something weird. That just might
That's
be
true.
weird.
That is
I
true.
mean, it's I'll give it like, 3 stars maybe. It could be more than it is. I had higher hopes for it. It's not bad, but it doesn't quite reach the heights I want it to.
Well, I like that it's separate from the MCU universe.
Oh, it's 100% separate from everything.
yeah.
Like,
So it's like it's its own thing. So it's only tangentially like set. So
yeah. Now, Brendan Gleeson as the mob boss, he's chewing all kinds of scenery in this thing.
Nothing wrong with him. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with him.
Oh, that's why I was thinking of Colin Farrell. Yeah, that would have made sense.
Because
Those two are in everything together.
They've only done like In Bruges and the Banshees of Inisherin. But
They've done it. Yeah, okay, I know, but they're besties. That could have worked.
That's true.
Yeah. So he's a lot of fun. And when they have their Kat Hardy is our femme fatale lounge singer woman, named after the Black Cat character, I guess.
The Jessica Rabbit character. The
When
Veronica Lake.
they do the witty banter between Cage and her, that's when they're at their most sort of like 1940s, Tracy Hepburn, and film noir, they're doing tit for tat, and that writing, it's like they brought somebody in to punch up their scenes, and they should have had that person punch up all the other scenes.
Okay.
There's one point where Cage is trying to infiltrate someplace, and he's pretending to be somebody he's not, and he literally does a full like Edward G. Robinson, James Cagney, yeah, say voice, and it's just ridiculous.
It's a choice. It's a choice.
So yeah, it is what it is.
Okay.
I'm not going to say don't bother, but watch the first episode or two and decide whether it's for you, because it's going to stay in about that lane.
Yeah. That's kind of the feeling I got, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of promise, not quite there. The other one we're watching, and this is one I will say that I think my wife is getting more out of than I am. This is currently on Hulu. It's called Interior Chinatown.
I watched the first 3/4 of that series and kind of I just didn't go back. It kind of petered out on me.
Okay, I'm at about halfway with this. So this is Jimmy O Yang, who was one of the characters in Silicon Valley, is a guy who works at a Chinese restaurant, and he is a background character in a cheesy 90s cop show.
Yeah. And it definitely blends is it real? Is it not? And then you break the fourth wall shit. And then you,
yeah,
it's very, oh shit. Last Action Hero. That was sort of the
okay.
jumping off point.
Yeah. That's a really good pull actually for this. Cause like when the main characters show up, like everything changes, the lighting changes, the world changes around him. And there's conceits like he can only get into certain places if it makes sense for his character to be there.
Yeah.
So like when he wants to infiltrate the police station, he can't get in unless he pretends he's delivering Chinese food. Then they'll let him in.
Yeah.
Right.
And the scene transitions are fun too, because it's very much just like, here's the normal stuff. And then it turns into the glossy 90s lighting and shit, and you get like the cheesy music and the whole 9 yards. So fun,
Chloe Bennett from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is here, and she is the character who's been added to the show that the regular stars of that show are a little suspicious of, like, why is she on the show? She's supposed to be an expert in Chinatown. She knows nothing about Chinatown.
And then you get the sidekick in the restaurant,
Ronnie Chang, who was one of the hosts of the Daily Show.
He's fucking amazing. I like him in anything at this point.
Yeah. So playing, I mean, in this very dingy, authentic, shitty Chinatown, tenement / restaurant, right? And he's just like, there's an episode where he gets stuck having to cover the shift of the other guy as the waiter. He's not usually the waiter, and he's lazy and he's bitter. And, people come in, and like these white people come in and they're like, hi, could we get the orange chicken? He's like, why did you even come to a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown? and then it like blows up online because, or whatever, in white people circles. And the next day, like all these white people are lined up around the block to get abused by the mean Chinese waiter.
Yeah. Cause he managed to do it first to a bunch of influencers.
Yeah.
So there are moments in it, but it just, as
uneven.
it went on,
Uneven.
I kind of lost some interest. I was just sort of like, get on with it. Cause it couldn't decide if it wanted to stick to that side or like actually him untangling this mystery related to his brother who's dead, kind of a thing. And so, they never quite figured out how to connect it more seamlessly.
Yeah, it's based on a book, apparently, and the guy who wrote the book is like writing some of the scripts. So, and my understanding is there will only be the one season. It was intended to be just sort of a limited series, and that's what they did, and that's it.
I applaud that, honestly.
Yeah, so good for them. It's fun, but I would also say it's uneven in a different way than Spider Noir is uneven.
Well, at least you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah. My money's worth.
Yeah.
Yes. So Interior Chinatown. It's on Hulu. If that sounded fun, give it a shot. See what you think.
Yeah, do it.
What do you guys got?
I want to hear if Eric's doing anything but reading Dostoevsky.
Still reading Karamazov since last week.
That's all?
And I watched season 4 of the show From, which is on, AMC streaming. I think it's on Stars. I'm not sure where it's supposed to be. I've talked about this show before. It's sort of it's a very, I think, Canadian version of Lost, where people end up driving through this town And when you drive through it, you're now captured in it and you can never leave. And
But
all the
difference
cars, if you drive on the road out of town, you just end up on the road back into town. No one
That's
can
very
leave.
interior Chinatown, honestly.
Yeah. At night,
Okay.
monsters come out, and if you're outside, they'll eat you. They have these talismans on the windows that keep the monsters out of their buildings. And the last 4 seasons have been them trying to figure out how to get out of this town. And, all of the evil spirits floating around this thing, they're trying to kill them, which has gotten less and less and less and less interesting with each season as they explain more and more. It's like, I watched this last season and I was just so fucking, I'm only watching it now to get to the end of it. The acting is so bad. Fucking bad. And there's a woman in it who is like the mother of the first family that showed up. They are sort of linking characters. And she was apparently she's an Academy Award nominee. And I was what? Yeah, she's what's her name? Here we go. Catalina Sandrino Moreno. Anyway, Maria Full of Grace is the movie. She got this Academy Award nomination. She's in this show now and she's shit and she ruins everything she's in. And I'm like, the Academy Award means nothing. Nothing.
I'm also looking this up now, and it's because Harold Perrineau is in it, who was also in Lost. Is that your connection?
Yes. And he's funny because he loses his shit every 5 minutes. And it is so funny because he's got like these 3 ways of losing his shit and he does them every time. And it's just funny to watch him go, God damn it.
Okay.
But yeah, otherwise, it's like their own sort of supernatural tropes that they're working from, and it's something with child sacrifice and people trying to live forever. And I'm like, yeah, this is a budget lost, but at least they seem to have an ending in mind. And next season is the last season, so I got to watch one more just to find out what the fuck. But that's all I'm watching. It's not even worth bringing up.
I really enjoy that about you, Eric, is that even though it's a law of diminishing returns, that you tend to stick it out.
I got
those things.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like
I
applaud that. I applaud that.
I feel like, I don't know if you ever saw that footage of the Zeppelin, the airship that the U.S. Navy, they used to have airships, and one of them broke away, and all these sailors were holding the mooring lines to try and keep it from floating away. But then it just yanked up, and a lot of the sailors who let go, they dropped maybe 50, 60 feet, broke some legs. Yeah. 3 guys didn't let go. And they were like hanging onto this airship for dear life for an hour. Oh, I feel like one of those guys. Yeah.
This is Eric's commitment to the bit. That was like the time he told a joke and offended somebody and like doubled down on it just because he's like, well, I've already stuck my foot in my mouth. So let me see if I can get the other one in there and twist it around.
Yeah. That's because Eric is old school. He don't care.
Yeah.
Fuck your feelings. That's Eric.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, what do you got?
Do you want the good one or the bad one? What do you want first?
Yes.
You have to choose.
I want the bad one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for this? You ready? I think this was on Amazon Prime. I saw it roll through on just a suggestion somehow, and it reminded me that it was one that I had not seen in 30 years, and I'm like, I need to revisit that. A little movie starring Brandon Lee called Rapid Fire. You remember this one from 1993 or 92, I guess it was.
No,
it's the one he made before The Crow.
Is this
I
the one
didn't
with
realize
Dolph
he made
Lundgren?
anything other than The Crow.
No. He made this. I think he did this. Then he did Showdown in Little Tokyo with Dolph, and then he made The Crow. And then
wow, okay.
But this was like his first big like studio actioner, mid-budget, like you had in the early 90s. But it's called Rapid Fire. It also has Powers Booth doing Powers Booth. Like any movie with Powers Booth, it's just literally him doing Powers Booth.
Sure.
And he says he's the gruff like police detective who says shit like, "Come on, kid," that kind of goddamn shit. But basically it's Brandon Lee is like, his dad was a fatality in Tiananmen Square, and now he's living in San Francisco area or something, and then gets sort of caught up in like a drug smuggling thing, and then ends up getting co-opted by the task force run by Powers Booth to take them all down. And there's just lots of hi-ya kicking and close quarter combat, and Brandon Lee basically just doing Bruce Lee shit, just a little bit more 90s. It's just so ridiculous. And I hadn't seen it since the theater. I think it's when you were still working at the Mann Theater, Brian. This was
I probably.
I think this was one of the free ones that I got into because I knew somebody who worked there.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I sure would have been. So yeah, why not?
But it literally it fits right in with all of like the Jeff Speakman, all of that shit. But where I'll tie it together because it's your standard like mid-budget, not early 90s actioner, but it's directed by Dwight H. Little, who had just previously to this done Marked for Death. So that's sort of the pedigree that you're looking at there.
That's about what the poster looks like. So yeah.
And so it's just none of it makes any sense. There's a lot of just leaps of faith, and then bullets fly, action is had. And then
Is that on the poster?
it might
Poster's just Brandon Lee in a black tank top.
Bullets fly. Action will be had.
If only.
That's like every 90s mid-budgeter.
No, it says unarmed and extremely dangerous is the tagline here.
And then,
it's a rental.
Yeah.
That should just be on everything.
Totally a rental. Like when I worked at Blockbuster, this would have garnered maybe 6 copies on the shelf. It wouldn't have been the full wall, but you'd have had more than one.
For the kids in the audience, 6 copies of a movie on the shelf is actually not a lot.
It's half a shelf, basically.
At Blockbuster.
Yeah.
If you want to know how we know so much about stupid people, it's because 2 of us worked at a video store.
And 2 of us
and
also
they're fucking dumb.
Yeah. And 2 of us also worked at a movie theater. So take that as you will. But yeah, and then it's got like the woman on the task force. It's like the meet cute, but they don't like each other at first. And then of course they're going to end up having sex and fall in love and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just every fucking trope. It's so like chef's kiss to just like, I could literally move this into any other movie from that period and it would not have missed a beat. So it's an oddity to be sure, but mostly because it was sort of it was Brandon Lee's introduction into the Hollywood thing, before his untimely death. So take that at what you will.
Actually, it happened right when it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Because if it hadn't, he wouldn't be dead.
That's true. Who knows what he'd have given us? Rapid Fire 4. Let's see it. But there you go. So that was sort of the ho-hum.
Okay, so what was the good one?
I think it's from last year, but this is on Netflix. It's a documentary called Becoming Led Zeppelin. And it literally is about how all of them kind of came up and then stops right after they do Led Zeppelin 2 when they just explode, right on the cusp of the 70s. And it's really, as a music documentary, it follows the standard formula, but it is really good because you get all kinds of interesting tidbits about all of the 4 guys in Led Zeppelin that you probably wouldn't have been aware of. At least I wasn't. Like, I did not know that John Paul Jones and Jimmy Page were like successful session musicians in the early mid 60s. And here's the tidbit that blew my fucking mind. They are both session musicians who played on Shirley Bassey's Goldfinger theme. So the bass and the guitar on that are John Paul Jones and Jimmy Page. I was like, I'm never going to hear that song the same again. It's just so funny. But just sort of chronicling the rise, like how they were in various bands doing session musicianship and blah, 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 and then all kind of hooked up and then exploded with the first Led Zeppelin album after they were sort of introduced as the Yardbirds.
Yeah. Or the new Yardbirds or whatever.
Yeah, which is basically just everybody quit the Yardbirds but Jimmy Page. And so he brought in the other 3 and they did Dazed and Confused. And
did they mention how Keith Moon came up with their name?
Yeah, they did.
All right.
So So it's a lot of fun stuff, but it's archival footage, interviews, etc. And then there's a lot of never before heard interviews with John Bonham since he died early in like 1980.
Yeah. Jimmy Page always referred to Led Zeppelin as a blues band. Like, we've got one more blues album in us. Yeah.
Which is true, but it was sort of like blues psychedelia is kind of how he approached it.
I mean, the Rolling Stones are a blues band too.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I take Zeppelin over the Stones any day, honestly. Just because I like their vibe. Because they get weird, man. They get weird. Like when Robert Plant starts singing about hobbits, it's just like that's like chef's kiss. It's like, it's just so out of place, but so perfect at the same time.
I think it depends on the mood for me, because there's some Led Zeppelin I absolutely love, and some of it it's a bit much, especially if you try and listen to the whole album. But it's the same with any band, really. Yeah.
But that's the genius of this. Like when they did the first one, Jimmy Page, basically they produced it themselves. So he was like, I'm not just going to go around and give a couple of demos and see if we can get a deal and then do it. It's like, I'm going to just sell them the album that we've made. And so they had full creative control, and he basically did it. Whereas instead of doing singles, because that was his experience with the Yardbirds, and he didn't like it. So he's like, I'm just going to do a thing, because FM radio was starting to come out. So it's just play the full side. He's like, that's what Led Zeppelin will be. And so he was a bit of ahead of the curve on that, I think. And so it confused some people. And so I didn't realize that they didn't just come right out of the gate. I mean, they had a lot of like critical broadsides on those first couple albums, but the crowds were showing up in force because they were such an intense live show. And so that's I applaud them doing a documentary solely based on just like the lead up through Led Zeppelin 2 before they just became what they became. So it's a good little sort of nugget. So if you're even halfway interested in Led Zeppelin, I would highly recommend this one. It's good cuts. So,
all right.
And they cut out all of like the Stairway to Heaven and all of that shit. So it's just straight up just the
no stairway denied.
No stairway, dude. But you get like Ramble On and all of that stuff. And it's some of the ones that I prefer, to your point, Eric. It's like, because you get into the 70s where things kind of get more prog rocky, and it's like,
that's where it starts getting self-indulgent and kind of boring.
Yeah. But it's just funny because they kind of fit that weird middle ground from when the early Brit invasion stuff was sort of no longer the big giant thing, and they were sort of cresting that wave into the 70s, and they just became just beyond huge. So it's just funny to watch. But the thing that's hilarious is when you watch these documentaries, especially for the British bands from the era, it's like all of the surviving members are all basically now just English gentlemen. It's like, that's just the vibe. It's like they, no matter what they were doing, what band they were in, now they're just like these rich English gentlemen on their estates talking very politely about stuff. I mean, it's just so weird.
That is the truth of any
of Buckington. Yes.
Yeah.
That is the truth of any British person who comes into money. I mean, Simon Le Bon walks around with like a curlicue mustache and like a Rex Harrison hat. I mean,
dude was always kind of posh, though. Like, anyway.
Yeah, but they all end up the same kind of posh, is what I mean.
But it's also funny because Zeppelin too, like 3 of the 4 of them were already married by the time they started Zeppelin and had families. And so there's none of these tales of debauchery and this and that, which I'm sure there could have been. But it's literally just them touring the States and being really tired and want to be with their families. And it's just like, it's such the opposite of like all of these other crazy documentaries you watch where they're just going ape shit because they're young and wild and rock and roll.
Television sets beware.
Yeah. So it's a good one. It doesn't break the mold for music docs, but it does take an interesting take on the early years. So I would recommend.
All right.
All right. And that's the Fresh Ship. Okay. So, The Lone Ranger, 2013's The Lone Ranger.
Fresh on the heels of
wanted to watch since it came out, but was not going to pay money for it. It took this long for the opportunity to present.
Same.
Yeah.
And this is straight on the heels of when we did our show just recently about Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Yeah.
It's like basically it's like take an interesting Gore Verbinski and then like let's transpose that to just one of his biggest studio debacles.
Yeah. So this
in a movie that should have been called Tonto.
Yeah.
Right. So somehow Disney ends up with the rights to make a Lone Ranger movie.
Right.
And it goes through a number of, different interesting directors on its way to getting made, but ultimately lands with Johnny Depp as Tonto, which is an interesting harbinger of the whole thing, of how misguided the whole thing is.
Right.
And of course, Gore Verbinski, who had been directing Johnny Depp in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies leading up to this.
Right.
And so this is sort of like, can we make the leap from ships to horses and trains, I guess, and bring some of that Pirates of the Caribbean magic to this
plus they
old IP.
Yeah. Well, plus they brought in the guys that helped write the Pirates of the Caribbean. Perry Rossio. So basically you wind up with a big Disney theme park ride about the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
I wish that would have been fine. Unfortunately, they also tried to shoehorn in the rape and murder of native cultures in a tonal shift that will actually hurt your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a goofy Lone Ranger movie where Captain Jack Sparrow is now, in whatever the equivalent of blackface is for dressing up like an Indian.
Yeah, they call it redface.
Redface.
Yeah.
But he's still just Captain Jack Sparrow, except they call him Tonto now.
Although Captain Jack Sparrow was way more, what's his face from the Rolling Stones?
Alive.
Yeah.
Swarthy.
Whereas this one, he's sort of like, it's like a weird Buster Keaton interpretation of Tonto.
Yeah.
I couldn't escape it.
Yes. This is like,
I unfortunately, I kept thinking of the wooden Indians that they would have in store shops in the 19th century.
Yeah.
Oh, like the barbershop ones. Yeah.
There's so much wrong here, just politically.
But it's like,
I mean, the idea though that they're like doing this whole, the Indians got a real raw deal. The Native Americans got a real raw deal. And we're going to cast a guy who's not Native American in the part, who then, when promoting the film, is going to say, "Oh yeah, I got some Native American blood in there somewhere," only to find out he had none.
Yeah,
it's so nonsense. And that's what's so distressing about that is as you go back through the history of this, it's like at least the previous two big incarnations of the Lone Ranger had actual Native Americans playing Tonto. Mm-hmm. It's just like, so now you're going to cast a big white guy star in this role with the surety that you're going to piss off an entire segment of the population. That makes absolute financial sense to me. It's perfect.
It's a baffling casting decision.
Yeah.
And you're right in that the marketing really centers around Depp as Tonto. The framing device is Tonto is really old and he's telling the stories of the Lone Ranger to this kid, which is fine in that he's an unreliable narrator, which helps explain how ridiculous this thing gets.
But here's where it sets the bad tone for me. It's like if you watch any Westerns at all and you see this start, you're like, oh, fuck you, you're little big manning this, eat a dick. That's how I approached this when I started. I'm like, so we're doing Dustin Hoffman and Little Big Man basically, but it's Tonto.
Yes, I'm like, but it's Johnny Depp as Tonto.
Shut up. Just shut up. Yeah.
Okay. Real quick. So the main character is going to be a district attorney in the Wild West. Mm-hmm. Shows up to see his brother. His brother has formed a posse to go after a bad guy. Brother gets killed. Our main character almost gets killed. Doesn't die. Becomes the Lone Ranger. And Tonto basically tells him what to do because this guy's a numbskull. And then hilarity ensues. That's basically the movie.
My elevator pitch for this is: do you want to see a train wreck? Do you want to see multiple train wrecks? Would you like to see a train wreck in a train wreck? That's this movie.
Yeah. Well, and that's where I also later in the movie where I got equally irritated and annoyed because I'm like, okay, so now they're doing The General by Buster Keaton, but just on crack.
Which is where I liked it. That's actually the part of the movie I enjoyed.
But it was also
this is where it shines. Anytime we're actually doing an action scene on a train, like the movie is awesome. And then there's all like the middle 2 hours.
Yeah, because it's Verbinski. But it's like this is my other problem, and this is the same problem that the 1981 movie had, The Legend of the Lone Ranger, is that they spend like, so the movie's like what, 2 hours? This one's like 5 or whatever it was. But you spend the first half doing all of the preamble. How does he become the Lone Ranger? And then you got to rush through the end of the movie to get the actual Lone Ranger action. And it's just like, I don't know why they always make that choice.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
Everybody knows the story.
Nobody seems to know why they need a Lone Ranger movie anyway. The West is boring. You need to work to make it not be boring. If it's not going to be, if you don't have boring, it has to be brooding. That's the one thing Clint Eastwood seems to get right. But this is, you can't have Pirates of the Caribbean in the desert unless you're really moving a lot faster than this.
Yeah, it suffers greatly from just tonal shifts. And then they throw in like the whole subplot with Tom Wilkinson as the railroad guy who's basically trying to take over the Transcontinental Railroad.
Which is fine. You could do that in under an hour.
Yeah.
You know?
But then as Eric points out, at the point at which you're the most bored, then they throw in this scene where like the entire Comanche nation is gunned down with Gatling guns, and just, wait, what the fuck? I was here to see silly white dude in a hat, and a mask.
That's the thing is, it's like
20 minutes ago, Helena Bonham Carter had an ivory leg with a shotgun in it, and it was like, we've gone from that to this.
Yeah. It's just so all over the place. But also watching it, like Brian, you may not have encountered this because I know you, as a rule, don't like Westerns, if memory serves. So you probably haven't watched a lot. Am I correct in that assumption?
I have watched. I mean, they're unavoidable. So I've seen several, but I mean, like, I don't seek them out.
But that we haven't made you watch.
No.
Because when if you watch enough like classic Westerns and then coming up through the 60s where they do the anti-hero and all that stuff, like I'm watching this going, it's literally Verbinski just paying homage to all of the better Westerns and directors that came before. Because there's like that scene. So there's the Railroad Baron, but then there's also the Massacre. I'm like, so now he's doing Sergio Leone spaghetti Westerns,
including The Watch.
Then you have all of the vistas. So that's like your John Ford kind of stuff. I mean, it's just like a kitchen sink Western because he's just throwing every single visual trope at you.
Oh, sure. I mean, that's not lost on me.
It's like shorthand. But again, the same problem we had with like other movies of this ilk. It's like they spent an ungodly sum and probably didn't make any of it back.
Oh no, they lost over $100 million on this thing
to give us this. And so it's like, okay.
Yeah, this came. I can't remember if it came right before or right after John Carter. This was Disney can't make its own movies, so they've just gonna have to go buy Marvel and Star Wars now. Like this is part of the trigger for that,
which is unfair because John Carter is actually a good movie for what it is. I think I think that one's misunderstood.
So was Tron Legacy, but again, Disney just can't do it.
But I think But this one, I think it already's on the back foot because you got Depp as Tonto. And it's like, you can't really overcome whitewashing.
It's already on the back foot because you got the Lone Ranger. And like, how corny are we going to, we're starting from like, okay, prove it to me, right? And then you stick Johnny Depp as Tonto on it. And it's like, oh boy.
That's kind of what I mean when I say they don't know why they're making a Lone Ranger movie. It's like if it's built in that the shit's cool, you can hit the ground running.
Right.
But if you have to spend this much time explaining the story and you still haven't roped anybody in, then you probably shouldn't make this movie.
But here's the thing. Here's my counter argument though. Is like they looked at The Mask of Zorro from like 98 and they thought, hey, we could do that, but with the Lone Ranger.
Yes, that one you can easily get to why it's an interesting story.
Yeah, but that's the comparison. Is Mask of Zorro is actually a very fun, very well made, if maybe slightly longish swashbuckler. Whereas this, it's like they tried to do all of that and just failed until you get to those grand.
That was where they started, and then of course, fucking Bruckheimer gets his hands on it.
Yeah,
right.
And that's how you know you're in for a ride because it's like he doesn't care. It's like it's not my money. Fuck it. Oh, but then they also have the trouble production. They are over budget, this and that. So it's like I'm surprised it didn't tank Verbinski's career from the get-go.
It did. It kind of did.
Yeah.
I mean,
how did it not tank Verbinski's career?
we didn't see him
I
for
guess
a
that's true.
long ass time
I guess
after.
that's true.
There are also actually parts of this movie where it definitely wanted to be a cartoon. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a lot of Rango in this. And then you get the Indian massacres. And I keep saying that. And then you get the Native American massacres. And it's like, yeah, this is, I don't know. This isn't the same movie from minute to minute.
But yeah, I think that's probably what is so disappointing overall is that he did Rango like 2 years prior. And that is so, like, that's a Western more or less. And it's so much better, so much more fun, so much more entertaining. And then he goes to this and it's just like, this is why studio tentpole movies just shouldn't be a thing anymore.
Yeah, no, he made this, and then basically, I guess he did a Cure for Wellness, and then was gone for 9 years until we got Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Like,
I guess it did kill his career.
This absolutely hit the e-brake on his career.
Yeah, but it's not like what happened to John Carter, where Pete Docter basically just like disappeared. No one would hire him for things that were not even his fault, you know. But
well,
you know,
So we haven't even gotten into the Army Hammer of it all here.
Did you? I know I messaged you guys during this, but I love that they're discussing the bad guy and how he's a cannibal, and then the next scene is Arnie Hammer. It's like, they were trying to tell us something.
Hunting down a guy who eats humans, and our hero is played by Armie Hammer,
who wants to do that to chicks.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Only if you believe the text messages he sent to women. But otherwise, yes, who knows?
But here's the thing that's so weird, because I'm guessing neither of you ponied up, pun intended, and watched the other one from 81, The Legend of the Lone Ranger.
I intended to, but I did not.
I've seen it, and I know how boring it is. I mean, everyone in that movie is an interesting choice, except the Lone Ranger.
Which, played by Clinton Spilsbury, who basically never made another movie ever.
And you got Jason Robards as President Grant.
Yeah.
You've got what's his
Christopher
name?
Lloyd as Butch Cavendish.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. But the dumb thing about that, there's a whole lot of that could be its own discussion. But basically, they cast Clinton Spilsbury because he looked the part, and then they dub his voice with James Keach. So they Flash Gordoned him. And it's like the director is a guy named William A. Fraker, who only directed like a couple movies, but he's a cinematographer, and he did like Rosemary's Baby, Bullet.
That movie does look great.
Yeah.
That's one thing you can't get away from. It looks top notch.
Yeah, because he's doing the vistas and the whole 9 yards, but it is so
and the colors. I mean, the way he balances the colors, and they didn't have digital, recoloring at the time. So he's doing it all pretty much in camera.
Yeah. But at the same time, the movie itself is like barely an hour and a half. And he literally spends the first hour building the Lone Ranger character before they go after Butch Cavendish in some wild, wild west, like kidnapping Ulysses S. Grant so that he can do a Lex Luthor and get a bunch of land in the West. I mean, it's just like, and then it's like the whole culmination of that one is the third act is like, they sort of rescue Grant, and then it's the Lone Ranger, Tonto, and Grant in various portions of the Cavendish compound lighting big giant sticks of dynamite, but they're so far apart from each other, and they're doing this montage of lighting dynamite like they're right next to each other. And it's like, and then in the grand finale, when the cavalry shows up, like just random explosions of dynamite blowing shit up. It's like, dude, that's defying every law of physics that I know about dynamite. At this stage, it's just so cartoonish, and it works.
It doesn't help also that it's the 1981 movie does not work. I'm sorry. I will take this over that. I will.
Yeah, but in the grand scheme, it's like their logic is in place and it fits because it's like a serial kind of a thing. Whereas this one, the 2013 version, it's like I don't know what the hell they were trying to. I think they were just trying to make a theme park ride.
They're trying to make Pirates of the Caribbean out of an IP that they had. I mean, that's all it is, right? And so there's a lot of stupid going on here. Helena Bonham Carter is, of course, distracting as she usually is,
because the character doesn't need to be there.
But Johnny Depp is in the movie, so she's along for the ride with her buddy. Yeah, but I will say this, sort of like what I had to say in the last episode about Disclosure Day. In this case, there are two big action scenes involving trains, and by God, you should see those, because there is some train foo in this fucking movie.
I mean, like the final act chase, it's like you've got literally two trains chasing each other on two different tracks.
Yeah.
It's very Temple of Doom minecart almost.
And crazy Buster Keaton bullshit with, and horses and ladders and stuff. And it's good times.
But it's just also, but to that point, it's also just, it's totally inconsistent because you've got this cartoonish Western serial vibe with a huge budget, but then your big bad is Butch Cavendish, who is historically the main nemesis for Lone Ranger. But it's played by William Fichtner. And he's got like that giant scar. And then for no reason whatsoever, after they've gunned down the Rangers, he's like turns to cannibalism. It's just like out of left field. It's just like, well, here's how we can tell you that he's really evil, even though he's already got that scar and he's already gunned down everybody. He's going to eat the guy's heart. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Did we mention Disney?
Yeah. And it's a Disney movie and they got cannibalism. Yeah. It's just
that's gonna throw you the tone of your movie fucking fast.
Yeah. And it's just so off-putting to do that.
This is so Tonto can think he's a Wendigo, or
but I did like the fact that they did the backstory where Tonto was already on the trail of Cavendish for, killing his tribe and this and that. And so you have the backstory, which is interesting. I like that Tonto is not an idiot. That he is not, he's not Robin. He's not a hanger-on. He's not a sidekick. But at the same time, he is so in charge. He's so in charge this entire movie. You wonder what he's doing with the Lone Ranger at all. Yeah.
Except, of course, the idea that he can't die.
Here's the thing. Yeah. Red face, cultural appropriation. Actually, I think Johnny Depp does a good job as Tonto. It's just that he shouldn't have been cast in the first place.
Yeah, agreed.
Exactly.
But he does it well. He does do a good one. It's just distracting,
It's just that, but ultimately that goes back to like, why would you make that casting choice? Because you're having a big tentpole thing for a property that anybody that's not a boomer is not going to give a fuck about.
Yeah.
And you're spending $300 million or whatever to do it. So let's already alienate most of the people that would be primed to go see this.
I kept thinking of like ways they were going to make it work. Like we're going to find out that the actual Tonto possessed this crazy white guy, or this crazy white guy is the one who is atoning because that's why he's crazy. But no, they are sticking with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again,
I like some of the business he does.
It's just,
I like that he's always like making trades. And so he's taking stuff and then giving people a bunch of like bird seed and whatever. So I mean, there's business in it, and it's
did
amusing.
You catch?
But
I mean, like just as a untrustworthy narrator joke, I loved when he's burying the bodies of the posse in the beginning.
Right.
And, he take something, he gives something back, take something, give something back. One of the things he gave back was the box for peanuts that he's eating from as he's telling the kid the story. That was fun. I like that moment. I'm like, oh yeah, I give a point back to this film.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they lean hard to the unreliable narrator thing for sure. And they set it up with the kid dressed as the Lone Ranger. So you're playing off of the whole myth making of the West kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so they had building blocks that should have worked better. I think that's the biggest disappointment.
And honestly, I mean, again, also retroactively hard, distracting, but I think Armie Hammer does a great job of being that guy. I mean,
the clownish, clueless buffoon.
It sucks that he is who he is, right? Because like he's actually good in it. He's good in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., right? Like he's good in a lot of stuff.
He's just
also
unnecessary.
There's
a lot of people who can do that. I think that's why he never really took off, because he's been in a lot of movies and none of them have done well, and it's because nobody needs him.
Yeah.
On the other hand, his brother is played by James Badge Dale, an actor I've always wanted to take off and just never will, because this is not a time that needs a guy who is immensely capable. That's he's meant to play the army guy who doesn't fuck up, and we don't make those movies.
Yeah.
So,
but then you also get just the side story with the the wife and the child that he leaves behind, and she actually loves the Lone Ranger brother, blah blah blah, and they just sort of make that a creepy sort of side story with Wilkinson, who's trying to sort of co-opt them as his family in just a really creepy way. I mean, it's a lot of it is just very off-putting to a degree, because it's like, why this was an interesting choice, but why would you go this direction? It's just, so they make all of that hay about this widow with her son, and then it just sort of just gets dumped at some point so she can just be the damsel and in need of rescue. It's just like, oh, fuck, man. Fuck. But one bit of trivia that I did like when I was
and that she's the love interest with her brother-in-law, I guess.
Yeah.
It was kind of
who I guess she loves more. I don't know.
They have a previous relationship, and they're, the husband brother, he already knew about that. You could kind of glean that from the look he gives them of, shit, I'm sorry, I know you two were the ones who were supposed to end up together. Yeah. They try and sell it, but it's a bit ham-fisted.
Another unnecessary distraction. Like, you didn't have to write it that way.
Mm-hmm. But again, to the kitchen sink motif of this whole thing, I mean, it's all very John Ford, My Darling Clementine kind of a vibe. It's what I think they were going for. And it just sort of fell like into the pit. It's like, well, we had it and then we didn't really explore it. So, but the fun bit of trivia that I found, which I thought was quite interesting, was that, so the kid ends up being the Lone Ranger's nephew. And I guess in the radio serial, or maybe it was a TV show, but he shows up in later series as sort of the kid's sidekick, whatever. But there's apparently the people that did the original radio show also created Green Hornet, and they explicitly made a connection so that he is the nephew of, or he grows up to be the father of the guy that eventually becomes the Green Hornet. Yeah. So they connect them explicitly. I thought that's interesting.
That always blew my mind too. Yeah.
So I thought that was
in the Lone Ranger cinematic universe.
As they were trying to do.
In the same way that Shang-Chi it relates to that crazy bit of connective tissue they always love to put in that.
Yeah. But it's just I think to me though, the main fault of the entire movie is that, okay, it's a very boomer property. And I think they are anticipating a lot of nostalgia and love for the Lone Ranger, but it's way too late for that.
Yep.
It's like, we all know it's like the Lone Ranger, it's Tonto, it's Kimo Sabe, it's Hayo Silver, and it's the William Tell Overture. To kind of,
which, admit it, when the William Tell Overture kicks in, that you're happy, right? Like,
well, I'm also saying finally at the top of my lungs.
Yeah, good time.
So it's all of those elements that are just part of the pop culture lexicon at this stage. But it's not enough to build your foundation. The movie was too little, too late. I just think
this movie needs an editor, like, so hard. Well, it needs a lot of things.
You know what it is? It's the Nepo baby of films. It really, it sort of just says, I earned this because I haven't earned this. This is just, William Tell, who was that masked man? You get it. Come on, just play along.
But I think it also suffers because you have things like Mask of Zorro, which was good, but then you also have that weird swath of like pulp 30s movies that they tried to do. So you had The Shadow, you had The Phantom, which in and of themselves are interesting failures, but they're still fun to a degree. But this one, apart from like the train stuff, like, this is just a big snoozer. It's like, there's way too much in here. You could make this an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours easy. And it would be a much better, like, more streamlined action flick.
And to say that it's a deconstruction doesn't even work, because no one understands the original construction. It's still not big enough to do you can't joke it because nobody gets the joke. Yeah. It's kind of like Airplane only works because they had a whole decade of those shit airport movies.
Yeah. Well, plus you've got Armie Hammer, and the way that they do the Lone Ranger character, he's just such a clueless fuckwit through most of it. And it's just I don't get his transformation into the big hero. It's just like, that shouldn't be your joking moment. Yeah. That's not what you should center your whole movie around, on this very known pop culture character. It's a weird take, man. It's weird.
God,
I don't
and
know.
we've seen this a few like I don't know. I thought they were trying to go originally with like what Son of Pink Panther, Remington Steele, the whole thing of the guy who has a big name but it's not earned, and so
Right.
others are sort of propping him up. But in the end, no, he's riding a fucking horse across a train.
Yeah,
It's like
he's riding.
They didn't stick with their joke because in the end they're like, oh yeah, that's right. This is a Lone Ranger movie. We got to actually do that stuff.
Yeah, but you also have to realize, like, this is the Lone Ranger historically has just been a big, like, lampshade moment because they literally give the hero the white hat. It's just like, come on. Just fuck off. It's like just on the nose a little too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I also like how the horse keeps showing up on top of things and you go, what's that about? And they, because he's going to be on top of a train and we need to sort of set that up.
Yeah. The spirited stallion, Silver.
Yeah.
Ugh. I think, but for me, the one part that sold it for me, like the one genuine laugh out loud moment was at the end when the Lone Ranger says, "Hi-yo, Silver, away." And Tonto's just like, "Don't ever say that again." And I'm like, nailed it.
pretty much.
I did laugh in the beginning when he's handing the girl her doll and it just goes thump out the window. That was
There was
fun.
business. There was business.
Yeah.
But then, but I'm watching it and I'm just thinking, there are so many other interesting stories you could tell with this property.
Yeah.
And this is not one of them.
There are definitely good parts. There's a lot of good people and it is well produced.
Yeah.
It's just not on the page.
Yeah. But it's also just like I said before, it's like, okay, so we start with Little Big Man, then we got some Leone, then we got some John Ford, and we got the general. I mean, it's just like every time they reference the stuff coming in, it was sort of like watching a Tarantino flick. It's like, okay, here's the source. Just go watch the source. It's so much better than what they're doing here. I mean, that's kind of the vibe. And so it got distracting to me. So it's not a good Western overall, but it is an entertaining popcorner, I guess, to a certain degree.
And I think we did see the end of nostalgia bait movies after this, didn't we? I don't remember too many
we're still
more.
very much in it. We're seeing this may be one of the last boomer nostalgia bait movies.
I guess that's
But
what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
we're getting so much 80s nostalgia bait now.
We're always going to remake stuff that already worked because it's a lot easier to make your money that way. But in terms of radio serials, that's kind of done.
This sort of predicated the move for Disney to go to, hey, let's do live action versions of our cartoon properties, but use a whole bunch of CGI so it's not really live action. I mean, it's like, come on, man. But it did make me think, it's like, at one point I kind of tuned out and I just started thinking, did the Lone Ranger ever fight a werewolf? And I looked it up and apparently no. And you'd think that would be a given. Silver bullets, the 9 yards. So and then I thought, hey, it would be interesting. You could do a Lone Ranger versus the werewolf and make Butch Cavendish the werewolf. So during the non-full moon time, it's a Lone Ranger trying to hunt down and kill Butch Cavendish, but then they have like the big showdown with the moon and the whole 9 yards. It's like you could get very fun with it. I thought that would be
Stephen King. He could make like a whole watchtower out of that.
Yeah. I just thought that'd be a more fun version than whatever we got here, in my head anyway.
All I'm saying is what this movie says to me is, and combined with good luck, have fun, don't die.
Yeah.
Guys, get Gore Verbinski and his second unit to do action sequences because they're fucking great at it. I was watching a little bit, like I was at the gym again, and they had that most recent Pirates of the Caribbean movie with the mermaids or whatever, and there's like no action on the screen. And I'm like, God damn, like let these guys go bananas with crazy action set pieces. Do that.
Yeah. Well, I think that they were expecting some of the Pirates of the Caribbean vibe to run off on
it was there when the action was going off. The problem is the script and the concept and the casting and the concept.
Something people also forget, Pirates of the Caribbean was supposed to be shit. When that came out, everyone was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're going to make a movie out of a ride? And so they had to work. They had to work to get people on board with it. They didn't try to work. They didn't. Yeah.
But then when they do the sequels on that too, to your point, it's like you think, oh, there's no way that they can make it even more fun. And then they cast Bill Nye. And I'm like, okay, that's just that right there will sell it for me because he was the best part about the ensuing. And then you get to the third one and it's like, it's not even the monsters anymore or the baddies. It's literally the guy from the East India Company is your fucking villain. I'm like, that's perfect, man. That's perfect.
But yeah, let these guys make big, crazy action set pieces, and somebody write a better script.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where I'm at.
Get them to dream up Megalopolis and get Francis Ford Coppola a screenwriter for dialogue, and then we're cooking with gasoline.
There you go.
So of these properties, though, because we did a show about Dick Tracy, which I know you really like, Brian.
In its own way.
I have certain issues with it as well.
Everybody
But
does.
Dick Tracy as a movie is still more fun and interesting than this one to me.
Yeah.
Because literally, like we pointed out, all you have in this one are just the action set pieces that are so bonkers that it's just like you can't not enjoy it.
Interesting point. In Dick Tracy, they don't go into his backstory. There's the thought.
Exactly.
He just is.
It's like, who are they making this movie for? This is because you go to a movie called The Lone Ranger. The assumption is that you already know what the Lone Ranger is about.
Yeah.
So don't spend 90 minutes on his backstory. Just
boom. And that's also the laziness of comic book movies, that the origin story is always the easiest.
Yeah.
It's like, no, sometimes you really ought to start in the middle.
Well,
go back to it if anyone cares.
They had hoped to do a franchise, but clearly this thing tanked so hard that put a stake in the heart of that thing.
Yeah.
Which is good. But I don't know.
They don't introduce Keith Richards playing the father of
Tonto,
of the pirate in the Pirates movies until much later.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just. But even the property's got its own issues, so it's like you can't really like. I didn't know this either. Apparently, Tonto in Spanish means stupid, and so
you didn't know that.
I didn't know that until I read up on it. It just never occurred to me, and so. There's already there's
Does
a lot
Kimosabe really mean wrong brother?
No, it means trusted scout. Or some shit. So that's just this version of Tonto being a dick, basically.
And a white guy.
Yeah. So I don't know. There
what does that mean? I don't know. I am Johnny Depp.
Yeah. So there are way more like big bloated tentpole summer movies that you could spend your time on, unless you're just really interested in a movie about the Lone Ranger and you're not a boomer.
I think the subtitle for this episode should be "Forgotten for a Reason." There is no going back to it. It is not bad, so bad it's good.
Yeah.
It's not bad on purpose. It's just forgettable.
Yeah. So he's the Lone Ranger.
All right.
And his sidekick, Carlotta Sales.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening to the show, everybody. As always, we want you to subscribe to the podcast, share it with your friends on social media. You can find all our old episodes on maghuge.com, maghuge.com. You find links to all our socials there as well. And you can email us, magnificentlyhuge@gmail.com. And, spend another hour with us and we'll talk about some other damn thing or another. We'll see you then.
And mostly just go watch Rango.
Who was that masked asshole?
And scene.